going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. It is Wednesday, October 11th, 7 a.m. New York time. Good morning to everyone here in the States. Good afternoon to everyone over there on the other side of the pond, and good evening to everyone on the other side of the world. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday so far. I hope you're safe. I hope that the day has brought to you all the joys and blessings that you were anticipating. So good to be back here with you, and good to be streaming again every day. Of course, we're here Monday through Friday, trying to demonstrate what it takes to be a profitable trader. Pass challenges, get funded, stack accounts. We are sponsored by the best in the business, Bespoke Funding Program. Proud to be sponsored by them. They are doing absolutely incredible, growing quickly, and just providing a great environment for traders to succeed. And so because of that sponsorship, we get to give away challenges here on the stream every week for people to try out Bespoke Funding. And you can also use discount code Venator when you purchase a challenge with Bespoke to get 15% off any challenge and an 85% lifetime profit split. And I'm telling you, that's a great deal. That is a great deal. So I hope you'll take advantage of it. Make sure you click that like button here on the live stream, or if you're watching this later, I do appreciate it. And jump in the chat, say hi, let me know you're there, and we'll get into it. Today's Wednesday. We've got some news coming out today at 8:30. We've got some PPI news. We've got FOMC minutes. That's what it was. FOMC minutes coming out this afternoon. So we'll see what the market gives us. Yesterday we got into a great trade on GU here. Just a beautiful setup. Picture perfect, textbook, run of liquidity, displacement away, fair value gap, breaker block. Had we held through the overnight session, which I do not hold through the overnight session, it would have ended up hitting our final TP. We got out around 2:30 in the afternoon, I guess 3:30 in the afternoon, New York time, for a full 2-hour profit for the win, which I'm very grateful for, to see some green back in the win column. So that's nice to see. Analysis played out perfectly. It has reached up into this daily fair value gap, our higher time frame draw liquidity. So we'll see. It's got relative equal highs up here. It wouldn't surprise me if we make a bigger push, and then potentially the news sends the dollar lower. Maybe, I don't know. Well, we're just going to wait and see. I'm not going to take any trades until after that red folder news comes out in about an hour and a half. So until then, we'll just sit and watch candles print. It'll likely consolidate here. Dollar's holding below this now. This fair value gap that was violated did not act as an inverted fair value gap and hold price back up. It's reached up into this monthly imbalance, and then now it's starting to pull back. We were due. The dollar's very much due for some kind of a retracement after 3 months of bullish price action. So the question becomes, where does the retracement go? What is a healthy retracement? What's just a pause? Is this just a pause? Do we look and anticipate higher prices? All good questions to ask, and no way to really know. Excuse me. No way to really know here what's going to happen with the dollar. A lot of the economic news that's coming out is going to play a factor. Obviously, the war outbreaks that are happening in the Middle East and Ukraine are still going to play a big role in a lot of all this. The main thing is that we're just going to continue to point out where liquidity pools are, and see how price reacts to those draws on liquidity. And if they line up with a breaker setup, then we're going to try to take those trades and execute them and be in line with the market as much as we can. Our analysis for higher time frame draws and liquidity has been pretty spot on where we're anticipating price to reach into on these higher time frames. We have not been able. We've been swerved on several great setups to participate in those. The ones that have been entered into, those are the ones that end up get taking losses, and that's the way trading goes. That is the way trading goes. There is no guarantee in any kind of trading setup. There's no certainty. Traders chase certainty. That's why they backtest. It's why they journal. It's why they keep track of all the data, because they want certainty. They're always looking to try to get more certainty in the marketplace. And it does not exist. You are chasing a ghost. It is like trying to catch the wind. You cannot do it. There are things that you can use to increase the probabilities of your success, but you cannot have absolute certainty in the markets. And that's where most traders just get so frustrated with, is because they spend all this time educating themselves and studying and practicing and working hard. And in every other area of life, when you do that, you get better and the payoff comes. And that does not happen in trading. You can work your ass off. You can become the smartest trader on the planet. You can understand candlestick patterns. You can understand technical analysis. You can understand draws on liquidity. You can understand support and resistance. You can understand your strategy inside and out, backwards and forwards, up and down, top to bottom, and you can still fail. It's not your work ethic in this business is not tied equally to your success. Now, do you have to work hard? Absolutely. Absolutely, you have to work hard. But it is not tied directly to how fast you succeed or if you even succeed at all. And it is a skill that is worth learning. But and I have a tweet coming out later today that basically talks about this. The problems, the obstacle that's standing in your way, it's not found in the charts. It's not found there. It's found in the mirror. The obstacle to your success is found in the mirror. That is where the problem lies. It's what's going on between your ears. It's the mindset that you bring into the market. It's the expectations that you bring into the market. It's the pain that you have to deal with when you open your charts. It's the fear that you have to deal with, the anger, the greed, the impatience. We're all just little 5-year-old children sitting in front of computers trying to make money. And that's ultimately what the downfall becomes for most people in this business. And so we sit here every single day and try to understand and get to a place where we understand what our edge that our strategy provides, and we just try to execute it to the best ability that we can when we see our setups. That's all our job is. It's not to win, it's to execute. And if there is an edge in your strategy, then over time, you will be profitable. It's not about one day. It's not about 1 week. It's not about a month. It's not about 1 quarter. It's not about 1 year. It's about a large sample of trading, of trades over a large period of time where you're going to find out if you have an edge. A lot of people can find success over a day or 2 days or a week or a month. They can have an incredible hot streak. And then they can go into an experience much like we've experienced over the last 3 months, where we've been break even, drawdown, break even, drawdown, losing streak, breached account. And then they wonder what the hell happened in the last 3 months. And they change their system, they change their strategy, they switch everything up. And they go back to the drawing board because they think that their strategy is broken and it just stopped working. And that's not the case. That's not how the markets work. It's more about your mental mindset than anything else. There is no certainty. Stop trying to look for it. Just become a professional system manager. Look at the charts. When you see your setup, you take it. That's it. That's all there is to do. Proper risk management keeps you in the game. Your risk reward ratio is both your shield and your sword to protect you and to create profits. Let the probabilities play out. That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. All right, let's get in and look at some analysis here. We are looking at GJ. We're going to start with GJ today. We have had a very similar scenario here that we had here. We had a run up, we had consolidation, we had manipulation and displacement. Here we've had not quite as much consolidation. We had a small period of consolidation underneath an inverted fair value gap, which is acting as both resistance here, or as support here, and as resistance here. We've had a massive amount of manipulation. This was a Bank of Japan intervention, and then we've had this manipulation back up into those levels. So the question becomes, my key level is what happens in here inside this inverted fair value gap? What is this going to do? If we get closure and sustained closure above it, then obviously we're going to see higher prices. Is this going to send the pound yen back down into these lower levels? We identified these pools of liquidity, we got tapped into, and now we're getting displacement away. So where's our next pool of liquidity? It's to the buy side, which we've just tapped into overnight. Relative equal highs, inverted fair value gap. So we're tapping into that. We obviously have some swing levels just above us. You have a massive volume imbalance on the weekly time frame that price may want to reach up into. So all of this is just where I'm looking and to see if we can get into a GJ trade. What do I want to see? I want to see displacement. I want to see a liquidity grab and displacement away. Bank of Japan still yet to intervene on a massive level. They still are going to do all they can to strengthen their currency as we come to the end of the year. So I'm anticipating more moves to the downside more than I am moves to the upside. So I'd like to see some manipulation higher and then displacement away. On lower time frames, we've had that grab of liquidity and we started to get displacement away. Thought it may be wanting to reach down into these lows, but currently trying to push back up again into that daily fair value gap. Pound Aussie also holding inside of its weekly fair value gap and volume imbalance. It's traded through the fair value gap last week into the volume imbalance, rejected, traded through the fair value gap and the volume imbalance again, and currently rejecting again as well. So still inclined to see some Pound Aussie weakness here, potentially. If we get displacement and closure above here on the daily time frame, then into this fair value gap is where I would anticipate price wanting to draw up into, and then we'll see what happens here inside this daily fair value gap on Pound Aussie. But currently consolidating, just hanging around inside this weekly fair value gap and weekly volume imbalance just above. So we'll watch price here. It's coming into some buy side liquidity up here on the 1 hour time frame, reaching up into this fair value gap. We'll see how it wants to respond, building up some liquidity to the sell side. So yeah, we'll just keep our eye on this and look for runs of liquidity pools and then displacement away. That's what we're looking for. DXY has tapped into and filled in the weekly fair value gap completely. The first drawn liquidity that we had identified here earlier this week at the start of the week, we identified this as what does price want to do in and around this first fair value gap? Is this going to be the support needed for the dollar to send it higher? I don't think we're going to take out last week's high. I think we're going to create a swing level right here, and we're going to put in a higher low somewhere on the DXY before we try to run this and potentially fill in the remainder of that first imbalance, monthly imbalance up here. Could still see lower prices on dollar, in my opinion. It has now traded through this first order block and violated it. It has taken out liquidity underneath this old swing level. Any displacement below this level would definitely be a clue that we are not yet done on this retracement. So it's taken out yesterday's low. It's taken out, hasn't taken out last week's low yet. That's down here off of this candle. And but it's reached into the wick. So we're going to watch and wait. We've got news this morning that's going to bring in some volatility. I would anticipate just some consolidation here over the next hour and a half. And then we'll wait and see what the news gives us. Negatively correlated, I guess, or oppositely correlated is a better way to say it. On the DXY would be EU. You see we're just kind of consolidating around. We've reached up into the weekly fair value gap that we identified also on Monday. We have completely filled it, and we're pulling back off of it. Now there is a small volume imbalance directly above that it may want to reach up into, but you can see we've reached in and above these relative equal highs inside this small daily fair value gap into this daily order block right here. Any displacement and close above a body close, full body close above this high, we have yet to do so. That would be the level that if we close above it, you would anticipate that acting as support to push prices higher. And again, Euro dollar, much like the DXY, in need of some kind of pullback after this massive 3-month bearish price action. So that's what we're anticipating, is a continued relief from this downward price action. You have a massive trend line. You've just kind of broken through it right around in here in this area. So is it just going to grab liquidity over this trend line to send prices lower into this monthly imbalance down here? Or do we get some type of change of structure here and we start seeing some higher prices and we can target some of these buy-side pools of liquidity that are resting up here? All TBD, same for GU. Tapped into our weekly fair value gap. We've tapped into the weekly breaker. Right here, the tip of this is at the bottom of this weekly breaker candle. So last down close candles into buy side liquidity here. We ran this buy side. We stabbed up into it. We've fallen away. We have displaced through it. There are both fair value gaps in and around this entire area. So as GU reaches up into this candle, that's where I would anticipate some resistance forming. And so as we trade through these fair value gaps, what does GU want to do? We're at our first daily fair value gap. There is another one above it, right in line with this daily order block. And there's some relative equal highs up here. So there's buy side pools of liquidity that have been engineered this whole way down. Anybody that's been a long-term short trader or just short GU through this whole process, their stops just keep moving down and down and down. And now this gives an opportunity for GU to grab some of those orders if it does indeed want to tap into its monthly volume imbalance or fair value gap and imbalance down here. But for today and really tomorrow, oh gosh, major news events, inflation numbers, CPI. There's going to be massive candles printed There's going to be liquidity grabbed. So we will just watch and wait. We had a great opportunity yesterday that we capitalized on. It was good to see the breaker strategy back in action, not get swerved and play out. You go for a while when you're in losing streaks and you go for a while and all you see is drawdown and stop losses get hit. It can mess with your head. It can mess with your emotions. It can really play a number on, do I know what the hell I'm doing? And the answer is yes, I do know what the hell I'm doing. I also understand how statistics and probabilities work, and that you're going to have periods of trading wherein you are not profitable. You are going to lose more than you win. And that's the season that we are coming out of. And it was nice to see the strategy in action yesterday all work out as expected. So, of course, we followed our rules. We got out before the end of the close of the day. You can see it had a massive gap down from the close into the rollover. It did end up playing out, but it could have easily just as come down after that massive gap down and hit it break even. So I was happy with the full 2R position that we took off yesterday. All right, I'm going to jump in and say hello to people over in the chat. So if you're here on the stream, say hi. Let's catch up. Mr. Alfie and Shadow Trades, Adrian Joseph, Ben A. Ben says DXY looks very bullish on the 3-month chart. Maybe this correction at the start of Q4 is creating the bottom side wick for a bullish fourth quarter candle. Makes sense considering Power 3. Seasonally, yes, you would consider... Yeah, I mean, it's just been bullish for 3 months. So we grabbed a massive, again, think of where we're coming from the weekly time frame. You had a massive monthly imbalance. You had beautiful relative equal lows. So you had all of this sell side liquidity built up. You stabbed into it. What happens after you stab into sell side liquidity? Imagine this is a 15-minute chart. Where do your eyes go once you see this quick stab into liquidity? It goes to buy side here and the relative equal highs and the monthly imbalance up here. And what did it do? It displaced immediately after grabbing the sell side liquidity. We have displaced higher. Now that you've gotten that and you've grabbed buy side liquidity, where do your eyes go? Well, after a run like this, where might you anticipate price running or pulling back to? It could be into a discount. Are there any pools of sell side liquidity that we can look at? There's fair value gaps, which we're in right now. There's not another one until a little bit down into this area, which aligns up with this breaker block, weekly breaker, run up, grab sell side. So potentially down into this level. How long would it take? How many weeks of trading of bearish price action to get a healthy retrace of this move? It could be several. It could be by the end of the year. It could be 12 more weeks. It could come down. And then as you get into 2024, that's when you see more bullish price action. I don't know. This does look bullish to me. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, pullbacks, and then higher prices. There's obvious, very obvious and large weekly imbalance resting above where we are at currently. We just briefly tapped into it on the wick of last week's candle. This swing high, there's just a lot of reason for me to remain bearish on DXY in the long term. But for short term, we can be neutral to bearish, anticipating where these runs of liquidity might be on a daily time frame. So that's what we will be looking for. Where did liquidity get run and where does it displace to? Shadow Trades, I was your liquidity yesterday. Well, I'm sorry about that, man. That's what you get for trying to fade Venator. Actually, if you had faded me the last 3 months, you would probably have passed multiple challenges and stacked multiple accounts. So it just happened that yesterday it worked out in my favor, and it happens. We're going to be each other's liquidity from time to time. What's up, Cisco? Says, like that stream. Yes, hit that like button. I would appreciate it, guys. Partha G, hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Glad you're back. Beeswax, what's up? Cisco, what's the joke of the day, guys? Yeah, come on. We need some dad jokes, Mr. Alfie. Andy, just noticed that today's London grabbed liquidity and displaced, leaving equal lows. Yeah, I just saw that as well. The London, there is some nice sell side liquidity to target here. It did grab some buy side. It did displace through, came back up into the fair value gap. Did get above the breaker, but if your high was above London, you could be targeting these lows. But quite honestly, for the next, there's no telling what's going to happen. We have news coming out in an hour, and so we're just going to wait for that. I'm not going to try to get into anything or anticipate what's going to happen. Owen, what's up? Here we go. Oh. Englishman and Irishman go into a bakery. The Englishman takes 3 iced buns and put them in his pockets. The Irishman tells him that's just stealing and can get the same result honestly. Camo, good morning. Owen, why do people take an extra pair of socks when they play golf in case they get a hole? Oh my God. Joe continued. So he goes up to the baker and asks him if he wants to see a magic trick. Yes, says the baker. So the Irishman eats 3 buns. Where's the magic? Asks the baker. Look in the Englishman's pockets. As we await the punchline. Hole-in-one joke's pretty good, though. I like it. It's not bad. I read one yesterday. It was guy walks up to his friend. Says, hey, I bet you didn't know that it only takes a school of piranha under 30 minutes to devour a small child. The guy says, no, I didn't know that. He said, how was your day? He said, oh, it was fine. I did lose my job at the aquarium, though. Look in the Englishman's pockets, says the Irishman. Sorry, ran out of, I think you meant space. That was the punchline, I think. Wait, what? Okay, I'm trying to get this. Englishman and Irishman go into a bakery. The Englishman takes 3 iced buns and put them in his pockets. The Irishman tells him that's just stealing and can get the same result, honestly. So he goes up to the baker and asks him if he wants to see magic. Yes, the baker. The Irishman eats 3 buns. Oh, I see. I see. He busted the Englishman for stealing the 3 by eating 3 and telling the baker that the 3 are magically inside the Englishman's pockets. Okay, now I get it. Sorry. It's early, man. It's 6:30 a.m. my time. I've been up for just about an hour. So please. I had to think about that one. Sorry. That's decent. It is. It's decent. You've had better, Mr. Alfie. You've had better. But still okay. It was worth the wait. And I ruined it by the way I delivered the punchline. So comedic timing on my part, also not helpful for your good joke. I'll take the blame. What do you call a fish that wears a bow tie? Oh. Wheelie Bin's still my fave. Bowtie fish? Sophisticated. I like it. I like it. Oh, I like it. What's up, Fib? Hello? What do you call a man with no arms and no legs driving a car. Oh God. I think sadly most of us on this stream, uh, I don't know that we'd be able to reach the steering wheel. You should watch rugby this weekend. Ireland plays New Zealand in the quarterfinal. Final. That's awesome. That's cool. It depends on when and where. So I think I told you guys this weekend, my wife and I are moving from the townhome that we're in. We're staying in the complex, the community that we're in. We're just moving to a unit in the back of the complex, away from the busy road slash highway that our unit is so close to. So that's happening Friday and Saturday. So after I get off the live stream Friday, we're going to be moving all day and Saturday. So I don't know what my time is going to look like for extracurriculars this weekend. It's going to be pretty full and taken up. But I mean, maybe if I have time and I need a break or something and I have a way to watch, sounds like it's going to be a good match. Big game, yeah. Oh, come on. GMT +1. I have no idea what that is. I don't understand all I mean, I know what GMT is, but I don't understand, like, I think you're GMT -7. I don't, that's a good question. -5. UTC GMT -5 here in Houston. So 1 p.m. in your place. Gotcha. Yeah, I think you guys are at lunch right now, so it's lunch hour there. So yeah, I think you're about 6 hours ahead. That's right. All right, so 2 p.m. Gotcha. Friday or Saturday? What did you say? You just said this weekend. Saturday, okay. We may be done by Saturday. We don't have a whole lot to move. I mean, it's a 2-bedroom townhome and it's not that big. It's not a lot of stuff. Most of our stuff's in storage from when we sold our house. So it's not gonna. We can probably knock it all out on Friday, but we'll see. I'll be paying attention to it though. I'll make sure to get on and check out and see what's going on. I don't know if we have any New Zealanders here, so I feel like I could root for Ireland and be okay. But maybe we have some New Zealanders and I just don't know about them. Or maybe I know about them and I'm just forgetting. The match is in France, right? Isn't that where it's being held? Paris. Cool. Eight teams left, or I guess 8 countries left. Who are the? It's New Zealand and Ireland. Is South Africa still in it? Didn't they have a pretty good squad, if I remember right? Who's all left? England versus Fiji. Wales versus Argentina, and South Africa versus France. And Ireland versus New Zealand. So where's Fiji? Why can I not see in my head where Fiji is? South Pacific. Okay, so you've got, I'm just trying to think globally where all this is. Way over past New Zealand. Okay. That's what I thought. It's way out in the middle of the Pacific. So Fiji, New Zealand, and then you've got England, Wales, and Ireland all in the quarterfinals. One from South America. I mean, France is Europe. It's not UK, but it's... and then South Africa. Where did rugby is that an Englishman's game? Is that where rugby started? Like baseball invented in America, basketball invented in America. Soccer, I have no idea. It's got to be somewhere over in Europe, I would think. But rugby is that a European pastime? Is that where it originated? I don't know the origin story there. In a place called Rugby, England. Well, that makes sense. Soccer and rugby, Mr. Alfie. Hey, John piping in. Welcome in, John. I thought I feel like it was rugby. What about lacrosse? Where did lacrosse, is lacrosse? Lacrosse feels like, is lacrosse French? What is that? I'm not starting the debate, Owen. All I said was, you said football and rugby are both British games. Well, football is an American game. Soccer is a European game. Shadow. Shadow is not a sports guy, I don't think. Native American? Lacrosse is not Native American. Aboriginal? No way. Is that right? The origin of lacrosse. Oh my God, there's no way. John? Lacrosse was started by the Native American Indians and was originally known as stickball. The game was initially played in the St. Lawrence Valley area by the Algonquian tribe, and they were followed by other tribes in the eastern half of North America and around the Western Great Lakes. The Native American origins of lacrosse. America's oldest team sport dates to 1100, and it was played by the Haudenosaunee, the Iroquois, in what is now New York. Why in the hell is it called lacrosse? Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, so It's called lacrosse because it was first discovered by French settlers who witnessed the Native American Indians play other tribes and communities. So the French named it after watching the Native Americans playing it. That's fascinating. I had no idea. Welcome to History Lesson 101 today. Absolutely fascinating. Oh. I only know WWE. Man, I have not watched wrestling. I can't tell you the last time I watched wrestling. I think I was about 12 years old the last time I actually watched and cared about WWE. Back then it was WWF. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Rugby started at Rugby Boys School, and William Webb Ellis picked up the ball and ran with it during a football match. That's why the Rugby World Cup is called the Webb Ellis Trophy. Oh, cool. Soon to be Ireland's trophy. Oh, I love it. Talk the smack. It was a diplomatic game sometimes used to replace war. John says what I can't know things. John, you can know things, but you did not know that. You just did what I did and hit Google up. And trusted the interwebs to lead you to hopefully the truth of the situation. But the fact that they would use it in place of war, that's pretty awesome. It's like send out your champion, right? Send out your athletes. Let's let the athletes decide the fate. Ultimate Warrior. Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Hell yeah. Absolutely, man. False. Oh boy. What are we going to do for the next 45 minutes while we wait for the news to hit? I was on the University of Central Missouri's College Quiz Bowl. Are you just okay? These are the kind of statements that John makes that we just don't ever know if he's actually being truthful with us. Because you say so many outlandish things sometimes that we don't know whether to take you seriously or not, my friend. University of Central Missouri's College Quiz Bowl. That's got to be truthful because it's so specific. And it's such a, I don't know, it's not like you could have said just University of Missouri. But you said University of Central Missouri, and then you added College Quiz Bowl, which it's got to be a thing because no one's just going to make that up. We made it to the regionals until University of Kansas kicked our butt. Them Kansas nerds. Damn them. College Quiz Bowl. Oh, isn't that just like is it just Trivial Pursuit? Like you're getting tested on just general trivia, or was it like specific academic type trivia? Or was it broken up into like actual Trivial Pursuit? Like you had history, you had culture, you had pop culture, you had, math or science or something like that. Entertainment. How do you try out for? How do you try out? How do you try out to be on the University of Central Missouri's College Quiz Bowl team? I want to know that. What was the tryout like? How intense did that get? I'm just poking fun. Uh, you put together a team, and then there was a campus-wide playoff. My team won 2 years in a row. Okay, so it basically came down to who had the best group of nerd friends that had no social life and took great joy in just answering random questions about general knowledge. Let's all get together and compete against other nerds on campus. That's what it sounds like to me. Again, I'm just talking smack, John. We love you. It's the nerds of the world who run the world. All of us work for smarter people than ourselves. Probably the people that were on your college quiz bowl team are running multi-million-dollar companies and employing the rest of us. Just a whole lot of nothing. Nothing. GA running up here into some buy-side liquidity on the 30-minute time frame. We'll see how it responds once it reaches into this fair value gap and takes out this buy-side liquidity pool. It had some, we've grabbed sell side. We're kind of coming back up. I would anticipate price stalling out here. And if it does and we get displacement lower, then I would be looking to see where does that displacement happen. If you're bullish, which you may be, I don't know. You did get a run of sell side liquidity here and you're starting to get displacement higher. This run of liquidity started down here or up here. There's not really a good, clean fair value gap in there currently, but could be a breaker set up to the top side, depending on where your bias is. I'm inclined to think, oh goodness, this weekly fair value gap acts as resistance, and we could get a high of the day on Wednesday up here above these highs. Could be the high of the day, high of the week was, or the low of the week was Monday, or the high of the week was Sunday. So currently still inside the range set from Sunday and Monday here. So, but interesting to see it push up into some buy side liquidity here. Just tapped into it over that. Did it get into the, yes, it did reach into this weekly fair value gap. So we'll see. We haven't had any full body displacements above these old swing highs. We've just wicked above them. This hourly candle closes in 10 minutes. We'll see how it closes. Can it close out above some of these old swing levels here? We will find out shortly. One is an emergency dock at KU, which shockingly, after KU knocks you out of the college quiz bowl, that's where he goes to be an emergency doc. So trader. One is a municipal historian. I don't even know what that is. One is a pilot for United Airlines. That's cool. And one is a retired football coach. All of you seem to have had very successful careers, so that's awesome. John, we studied maths beyond what government said was necessary. They kind of makes us nerds by default. Oh, that kind of makes us nerds by default. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the government says you got to learn what 2 plus 2 is, and then there's some of you that go on and try to figure out how to create random math equations to solve for the effect of gravity on light waves. Or some other random thing. I was decent at math. I was decent at math. I could do it and I understood what was happening. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it at all. I at first algebra, like just basic algebra, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. You know, the Pythagorean theorem and all that kind of stuff, and you know, you're dealing with all these variables and solving equations and proofs and all that kind of stuff. Like I got into that, and at first I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. I like the puzzle of it all. I like the way that your mind has to decipher and work it all out, because I do enjoy that side of math. But then it just became like, it reached a point where it's like, this is dumb. This is the stupidest thing. It has no bearing on the rest of my life whatsoever. At least for me, I have no interest in using this at all whatsoever every day for the rest of my life in whatever job I find. If this is life, if this is the best life has to offer me, is solving proofs, oh, that would be miserable. So while I can understand it, and I think a lot of it is because I'm a very musical person, and music and math have a lot of correlations in the way that your brain operates. And so that's why I think I just enjoy the creative side of music more than there's probably a creative side to math. I just could never grasp it or get into it. So once I did my mandated mathematics courses, I was happy to be done with it. And now we have computers. I don't know why we still have to do math. We have computers. And we have AI that can probably do math better than any of us on the planet currently, I would assume. I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth. I'm just making stuff up, man. There are some actions I see on movies. I wonder how or if it's truly acting. Okay. What's up, Chase? How's the market? Market is boring. Oh, I get it now. Here we go. Shadow Trade's dropping in the jokes. At first, your first comment, I was like, where is he going with this? What in the world? And then you dropped it. I got it. Good joke. I like it. Although, I'm kind of over the Marvel stuff. I'm kind of really over, at least I have superhero fatigue. Look, they had their 20 years in the spotlight. It's time for another genre, another action adventure genre to take over, because the superhero genre I'm just done with it. The new Marvel movie, there's a new what is it, Miss Marvel or something like that. And it's the most unrealistic superhero of all time. It has 3 female superheroes in it as the lead characters. I mean, come on. Who truly believes that could actually happen? It's a joke, people. I don't remember the last time I went to the movies either. It had to be before COVID. I don't think I've been back to the movie theaters since before COVID was the last time. And there's just not that many good movies. And I just enjoy so much more the longer form content of like a series, a streaming series now, where you have time to really spend exploring character development and storylines and intricate movements, and you don't have to pack it into a 120 minutes, this massive story. Not that it can't be done. I've seen some incredible movies that are beautiful stories, but I don't think there's anything good out that's worth me spending $50 or $70. I don't even know how much it is now when you do concessions and everything to take my wife out to the movies. There's so many other just good entertainment out that you don't have to go to the movies for. Looking at the Chinese movies, you see a large number of people as guards or soldiers. I'll be like, are all this people consulted for this movie? It was not misogynistic. It was a joke, John. I think there's plenty of good roles for women in movies. There's never enough maids or cooks or... I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm just making jokes, y'all. I'm just making jokes. I'm the guy that loves Blazing Saddles, so that should tell you everything you need to know about my sense of humor. Just anytime you hear me tell a joke, just understand Blazing Saddles is one of my favorite movies of all times. It's all you need to understand about me. Chase, at John Jones, of course it wasn't, because misogyny is wrong and being wrong is for women. Hey, there you go, Chase. There you go. Shadow males are there to die. That's mostly their part. How well can you fall over and fake being shot? You're hired. All right. Mercilessly, the market grinds on. The clock ticks forward, and we are about to close out our first hour of the live stream, and we still have 30 minutes to go until news hits, and then we can begin, at least for dollar correlated pairs, to be able to look for potential trade opportunities here. Favorite time of the year is the fall. I love this season from you get out of the dreadful heat from the summer, and you begin to enter into the change of the seasons. And I just love all the holidays that come in the fall and the winter. It leads into, I don't know, this is my favorite time of the year. By far, it's the best time of the year. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited about our move. I'm excited about getting to decorate our new place for the fall. Putting out all the fall decorations, and then right after that, putting out all the Christmas decorations. It truly is the most wonderful time of the year, I believe. Even though we have to sit through stuff like this to find a good trade setup. Jericho, welcome in, my friend. Thanks for being here, and thanks for jumping in the chat and saying hi. Oh, man. What's my strategy? Laid out for you on my YouTube channel, step by step, the breaker block strategy that I use. One of the strategies that I use. On the live stream, I only use this one strategy. That's it. I've thought about bringing more in, but I think I'm going to stick with this at least through the end of the year. And if at the end of the year we're not where we want to be, I might introduce some other strategies into the Venator ecosystem. But you can go on my YouTube page. There is a video called the 10K to $2 million strategy, and it will break down step by step exactly the setups we look for, where to enter, where to put your stop loss, and where to put your TP. What's up, Red? Welcome in. H, what's going on? Reishi, I don't know how to say your last name. Makahia? Makahia? I don't know. I'm sorry. But welcome in, Reggie. Couple new faces in the chat today. I'm glad to have you. God, I love this candle. I keep telling y'all. In fact, you know what? I'm going to light it. I'm lighting this candle, and I'm going to set it down right under my face. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Here we go. That's going right there next to the mic. It smells so good. It's just so like comforting, but also like it makes me happy. If you don't have a good candle, and if it doesn't make you happy, you should just blow it out and throw it away. Candles should make you happy. A good scented candle. And this one makes me happy. Just subscribed last week. Well, cool, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully you find it helpful. And if you want, I'll throw up. We do have our Discord as well. I can throw that link in there. If there's any new people that might be watching that want to jump in, any new people that want to kind of get in with the Venator fan club, the fam, not fan, fam as in family, we'd love to have you. What's up, Camo? How's the challenge going, my friend? And yes, we are aware we've got some red folder news coming up. We got about 27 more minutes, and then maybe things will start moving and we can get some runs of liquidity and some trade setups. We'll see. Sorry I missed some bits, but I agree that pure maths I don't like. Yeah, there's parts of math that just are frustrating and dumb. They mean nothing. Did you know by replacing your potato chips with grapefruit as a snack, you can lose up to 90% of what little joy I'm laughing on? Those are facts. Those are facts. That joke could play across so many different things. Did you know that by getting married and not being single anymore, you can lose up to 90% of what little joy you still had left in your life? You could. That joke plays so well across so many different categories. I love it. Great joke. You bet, man. Thanks for joining. Completely free, and we hang out. We put our trade ideas in there. We talk when we're off the stream. Just a community of traders trying to help each other get better. So it is, Camo. That's the life of a trader. Get used to it, my friend. Get very comfortable with riding roller coasters. They can be terrifying and thrilling at the same time. And a lot of it comes down to you can mitigate some of that just by your risk management. Risk management and how, the size of positions that you're taking and what you're putting on for each trade or risking for each trade. The less you risk, the less thrill or fear that you're going to feel. So the more comfortable you become with trading and the more comfortable you come with losing, the more you're willing to increase that risk. But there comes a point in everybody's risk appetite. There's a threshold, and it's different for every trader, but there's a threshold that when you cross it, the fear and the pain and the thrill and excitement, but also the terror kick in. And that's when you know you've gone too far on your risk management. When you're risking enough that it doesn't affect you emotionally, where that terror doesn't kick in or the thrill also doesn't kick in, you're probably at the right spot with your risk management when you're emotionally unaffected by that. Oh gosh, I have got the yawns and they won't go away. I don't know why. Just in a big choppy range of consolidation for euro dollar. Quick stab of buy side liquidity. We've had no displacement lower. Taking out the swing, taking out the buy side, tapped into some fair value gaps into an order block. Nice little trend line here that retail could be trying to trade. That's going to represent sell side liquidity. So you could get a dip down and then circle back up. But we'll just let it play out. I'm in no hurry. Today and tomorrow, I am in no hurry to get into a trade at all. Major news events, CPI, PPI, FOMC meeting minutes. Friday may be the next chance for us to try to find a good setup, and then into next week. What does next week's economic calendar look like? What do we have next week? Monday, a manufacturing index on Monday, not a big deal. Tuesday, pound has the claimant count change. There's some CAD dollar news. Core retail sales on Tuesday. Wednesday, pound has CPI. Aussie has unemployment rate. Thursday, dollar has unemployment claims. And then Friday, we've got Treasury currency report and retail sales per pound. Kind of a light week next week for news, so could be good. Maybe some things will settle down around the world. And we can just get back to people being normal people. Oh. $20 more minutes, and then we'll start looking to see how price responds to the news what liquidity gets grabbed and where displacement happens. Those are where the moves tend to be. I don't even feel sleepy. I don't know why I can't stop yawning. It's driving me nuts, man. Oh. One thing I've never asked you guys, and I'm a big sci-fi fantasy book guy. I just finished the entire Wheel of Time book series. It's on Amazon Prime. I think season 2 of Wheel of Time is out. I haven't started it yet. The books were absolutely fantastic, but I'm also a huge Brandon Sanderson fan. I don't know if you guys, any Brandon Sanderson fans out there, but his Stormlight Archives, really anything that he's written, I love. Mistborn is fantastic. Obviously, Stormlight Archive is fantastic. But I'm also a Pierce Brown fan. The Red Rising series is money. But I've never asked you guys if you're book readers or what you guys like to read. But if you are, if you're a fantasy or sci-fi, I'd love to hear some recommendations. I'm always looking for... I've got like 4 or 5 credits stored up in my Audible account. I need to get some new books going. I don't know if you guys are readers. A lot of traders I know are not readers. They don't like to read. They have other hobbies and interests that are not reading. Some of you guys may be, though. Astros looking to clinch and close out the division series tonight against the Minnesota Twins. So that happens at 6 o'clock tonight. And hopefully the Rangers, the Texas Rangers, who are our division rivals, swept the Baltimore Orioles. So they're into the American League Championship Series. Would love to be able to take on the Rangers in the American League Championship Series. That would be awesome. All Texas ALCS. The I-45 rivalry. Steven Erikson, Malazan Book of the Fallen is a good book series. I have never heard of that. Erikson, Malazan. A series of epic fantasy novels written by the Canadian author Steven Erikson. Series published by Bantam Books in the UK and Tor Books in the US consists of 10 volumes. Dang. Beginning with Gardens of the Moon and concluding with The Crippled God, finished in 2011. Erikson's series is extremely complex with a wide scope and presents the narratives of a large cast of characters spanning thousands of years across multiple continents. His plotting presents a complicated series of events in the world upon which the Malazan Empire is located. Each of the first 5 novels is relatively self-contained in that each resolves its respective primary conflict, but many underlying characters and events are interwoven throughout the works of the series, binding it together. The Malazan world was co-created by Steven Erikson and Ian Cameron Esselmont in the early 80s as a backdrop to their GURPS role-playing campaign. I have no idea what GURPS is. In 2005, Esselmont began publishing his own series of 6 novels set in the same world, beginning with Knight of Knives. Although Esselmont's books are published under a different series title, Novels of the Malazan Empire. Esselmont and Erikson collaborated on the storyline for the entire 16-book project, and Esselmont's novels are considered to be as canonical and integral to the series' mythos as Erikson's own. The series has received widespread critical acclaim, with reviewers praising the epic scope, plot, complexity, and characterizations, and many other authors hailing it as masterwork of the imagination. Sounds interesting, but that's a good recommendation. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've never heard of that series, and I've never heard of that author, but that is the fact that it's 16 books between two different authors, all set in the same kind of universe and world. That sounds pretty fascinating. I'll have to check that out. Good recommendation. Good recommendation, Beeswax. John Jones and I'm the Nerd. We all have a little bit of nerd inside of us. I bet you your nerding and mathing was helpful in football. Were you kind of a stats guy as a football coach? Were you like a very methodical, like, we run this play because it gets X number of yards per game or per play? I bet your mathing and your nerding really helped as a football coach, I would think. Football is a fairly complex game strategically. There's a lot of moving parts there. Can't focus, currently working. Yeah, everybody's got a job to do. You got to go do it. Has this guy met you? Not in person. Maybe one day. But not yet. Wife also a trader. My wife is not. I don't know about John's wife. I don't think John's wife's a trader. I don't think he's ever said specifically, but even Bastion. That would be quite. That would be quite the experience. Man, if he talks as much as he types, I'm not sure any of us would get in a word in edgewise. I don't think. My wife is a principal. Oh, good for her. God bless that woman. My Lord. Public school or private? I kind of feel for administrators in public schools right now. They are put in a very tough situation. Proudly public high school. That's awesome, man. Good for her. Is it a large high school? And by large, I don't know what a large high school is where you're at. like here in the Houston area, a large high school is a few thousand student population, 1,200. The school, let's see. The school, I had 600 in my graduating class. So it was a little over 2,000 students, I think, in my high school. I think that's fairly, I think that's fairly common here in Texas. It's like a 5A or 6A school, whatever it's called. They categorize them like 1A, 2A, 3A. I think we're either 5A or 6A. I think they're around 2K student pop. But 1,200, that's a big. 1,200 is a big school too. I mean, that's a pretty large public school. I remember when I grew up in Illinois and I went to a very small private school until I was in eighth grade. And then we moved to Houston and I went to my first public school. And I can remember driving up to and driving past the high school campus and absolutely blown away, like shocked at how big the high school was. It looked, I mean, in my eyes, as this little Midwest country bumpkin kid coming to the big city, and you see this building for high school, and it was bigger than any building I'd ever seen for anything in my life, really. And to think that it was just a school, a high school, it was baffling to me. Complete culture shock, how big the schools are down here. They're massive. The interaction between Bastion and I would be fine. I would have no problem interacting with Bastion as long as we had an interpreter. That's where the biggest problem is. Well, that's not true. There's bigger problems beyond the interpreter with Bastion, but that is one of the biggest problems that we probably could get past some of the other problems if there was not a language barrier. All right, about 7 more minutes till the news hits. I have some buy-side targets up here for GU. Potentially some sell-side as well. So we'll just watch and wait, see where it wants to attack. What it wants to attack first. And then see if we get some displacement away from that. It's going to hang out here. I'm going to clean up all of this as well. I don't need this on the charts anymore, so I'm going to get rid of all this yesterday's stuff. You guys had plenty of opportunity to see that. I posted all the screenshots as well, just for your future back study. Oh, we're going to try and get Owen on after we get moved and settled in. I thought about trying to get him on this week, but we've had so much other stuff going on. I think me getting into my new place, getting settled, making sure all of the network stuff is working, internet stuff's working the way it needs to. So I do plan on getting him on before the end of October. So in the next couple weeks, we'll find a time to get Owen on here and hear some of his trading story and hear how his challenges are going. He's been getting some nice payouts from Bespoke. Hopefully he's using that Venator discount code when he's stacking his accounts now. It's the waiting. It's the waiting that always just kind of is the grind. And I'm telling you, doing a live stream certainly helps. Being able to hang out and at least talk about whatever it is we find interesting amongst ourselves. Otherwise, it would be pretty miserable just sitting here watching this nonsense, waiting for news to pass. What are the strongest days of the week? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays. Nice one, Beeswax. Always up for some good dad jokes in the chat. I'm just looking at some scrolling Twitter here. There it is. Run to sell side. Take out some sell side liquidity on GU. Take it out on EU. They were anticipating 0.2, came in at 0.3. PPI month over month, they were anticipating 0.3, came in 0.5. So that's a big miss. It is taking out sell side liquidity there. Dollar reaching up into buy side, right back up into that daily fair value gap. If it wants to run here, it's fine. If it wants to continue bullish, any inflation numbers that show inflation is not slowing down, it's just more inclination that the interest rate hikes are still incoming. I think everyone that's in the States understands inflation right now is not under control. The price of everything is still extremely high, and so much higher than it was 6 months ago, and higher than it was a year ago, and way higher than it was a year and a half ago. And it's not getting better. It's still going up. But it's interesting that they attack the sell side liquidity there. So we'll see if we can get displacement away after attacking sell side liquidity. Then we potentially can continue with some dollar weakness off of those numbers. Did run some sell side liquidity here on GA. Stab down. We've displaced through on the 15-minute. This whole chunk of candles is your breaker. A little too much for me. I would probably look on the 30-minute and use this right here as your breaker. You've had displacement through. If you were anticipating prices to go higher, what am I doing? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. There's not a good fair value gap. There's one at the bottom end of that range. There's not a fair value gap here in the 15. Teeny tiny one here in the 10-minute. Lines up with that little order block right there. 5-minute is a lot clearer. So that would be an interesting location to try to look for some potential longs out of that area here. But if you're short, then you would be looking at this buy side being tapped into, reaching up into this hourly fair value gap, and then sending price lower and tapping into some of these sell side liquidity targets. If that's the case, then you're going to need to see some displacement lower through this area down here, away from this buy side liquidity. But if the dollar doesn't find any weakness here, it could send the pound lower, which would be in line with the weekly fair value gap, sending prices lower there. GJ, not much happening. Dollar, again, we've reached up into buy side. We haven't been able to maintain that. We'll see how this 15-minute candle closes. Price may want to just consolidate and see what the FOMC minutes come out as in conjunction with this news release this morning, showing inflation not, they were anticipating a larger drop. It was 0.7 last time. They were saying it's going to be 0.3 and it was actually 0.5. So Oh, goodness. This 4-hour candle on GA is about to close, leaving behind a bullish order block, which makes me want to think that we could still see some higher prices here on GA off of this breaker. We took out a swing low, again, stabbed through. This is very much like the GU trade yesterday. Took out the sell side liquidity, displaced higher. We'll see how this, again, we'll see how this 4-hour candle closes out. But that is very interesting location. If you look, you could target a little bit deeper into that fair value gap and get a little bit of a better, about 50% of that breaker would be down in here. Where would I? Whoops, let's not do that. Bottom of that candle there. Still leaves the buy side in place up above. Let's see. All right. Agree about inflation. I don't see a good fix for it either. Is that your stomach growling? I don't know. I don't think so. Could be. We'll see where the bodies of these candles close with this first 15-minute candle after the news. Interesting, it's come back and tapped into that breaker and is heading off. I do like that it's doing what it's doing here and would prefer to see it close, have a stronger bullish close on GA. Then that would set up as the next 4-hour candle opens, a open and a wick down to get to your bottom wick, and then continued prices higher. Tap into that order block right there. That may be too high. I think you would want to use something like this maybe. Hit that lucky like button, guys. Let's go. I don't know how many are we up to? 15 likes. It's not bad. I mean, I don't see anybody. I guess it would show up as a thumbs down if somebody didn't like it. I can see the thumbs ups. I don't know that anybody's ever hit the dislike button. What's up, Trader Omar? Oh, I see 17 now, yeah. Oh. What's up, Buffett? Welcome back in. Always good to have Mr. Warren in here. Doing good, man. Just waiting to see. Might have a little setup here on Pound Aussie. All right, so we've attacked the sell side liquidity here after the news release on EU and GU. Didn't really take a deep dive on GU, but we did tap into the sell side there. We'll see what kind of reactions now. Do we get a continuation? Do we get displacement in the opposite direction? I do like this GA setup though. Hopefully it doesn't run away too much more aggressively. I'd like to see this last 15-minute candle pull back. As the 4-hour candle opens, you get a wick down. Could be a nice little setup here on GA. If it just runs higher here, though, you just have to let it go. You don't want to see it run too far too fast after that displacement through the breaker. And technically it did come back down, already retest that breaker. This is a 30-minute breaker right here. But it's offered no pullback currently. Oh. GJ displacing higher, grabbing sell side liquidity and displacing higher. So on the 15-minute time frame, there's your breaker. There's no good, clean fair value gap in here. This wick down basically after it displaced here, part of that was inside of that wick. Your fair value gaps are there. On the 30-minute, you've got probably these three candles together, and there's not a good fair value gap in there either. But GJ not super clean to try to find a buy. GA, I think, has the best setup for a buy here. See how the DXY wants to close this out. This closes out like this in the next 10 minutes. If it doesn't make another big bull push up, but it just kind of closes out where it's at, maybe pulls back a little. I do like this setup on GA. With an entry right there. Stop there. And TP there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. For GA right there. Oh, I hit the like button. I hit the like button a little while ago. Oh, no, I didn't on this one. There you go. All right, we're coming into the 9 o'clock hour here. Got about 8 more minutes. Dollars definitely finding a lot of weakness off of that news. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes before I click any orders here or put any orders in on GA. I just want to see how it wants to close this out. Potential longs here on GU as well. I feel like you'd have to keep your stop down there, which is going to give you a fairly large TP. That's the only thing I don't like about the GU trade here. Not that it can't reach up into that second fair value gap. That's just a lot to ask. And you still have FOMC today as well with this dollar pair. Could just consolidate, reach down, tap, and just keep popping back and forth. But I do like the GA buy setup here. I need a good hype man. I think you do a good job of it. Trying to keep all 19 viewers in line is quite the task. All right, with 3 minutes to go to the close of this candle, I think I'm going to go ahead and set these buy limit here on Pound Aussie. So we'll have a buy limit order set here. Throw that up in the Discord. This basically looks just like the GU trade we took yesterday, where we had a run of liquidity, displacement away, fair value gap. You got a 4-hour closure creating a bullish order block. You've got a 5-minute fair value gap inside of a 30-minute breaker. You've got buy-side liquidity targets in place and identified for higher time frame draws on liquidity. We've had sell-side liquidity runs. We've had break of structures, change of structures. Yeah, I mean, this is a valid trade setup just from the breaker setup alone, let alone the other confluences that I like here. But this is a nice setup. We'll get a closure here on this 4-hour candle, and that's going to set up a bullish order block. We'll get the next 4-hour candle to open, hopefully drop down, take out some relative equal lows, rebalance that fair value gap, trigger us in to put a low of the wick in for the next 4-hour candle, and then we get a push up. Are you ignoring me on Discord? Did you send me a message on Discord? I don't know. If I have, it's not intentional. It's just I may have just not been paying attention. Bro, I'm confused. I have $13 billion in disposal. Where should I think you need to play the character better. I don't think bruh is in Warren Buffett's vocabulary. Got to make that more believable. Oh. Try that scene again. I'm kind of surprised that handle is even available on YouTube. I'm shocked no one else uses Warren Buffett as their name on YouTube. That's pretty amazing. How he and his PR people don't already have at Warren Buffett as locked up on all the social medias is pretty astounding. All right, here's our new 4-hour candle open. Our preference here on GA is that it opens and drops down, puts in a lower wick, and then pushes up. We don't want to see it run up and take out that buy side first. It may very well do that, and that's fine if it does. But we would like to see just a little pullback here. We'll let this trade play out as it is. The orders are set. And we'll see what happens. Lost a Billy yesterday. It's just the life of a trader. 14 bill yesterday, 13 bill today. Oh, gosh. Man. It's easy to make 500K in the futures market, so first you need to start with $1 million. Yeah, that's basically true. You can make 50K a day trading if you have a $500,000 account. All right, we're starting to get that pullback here on the open of that 4-hour time frame. We do need it to drop down, take out those relative equal lows, tap into that fair value gap. The joke fell a little short. Yeah, again, my comedic timing and not reading it correctly with the punchline just doesn't help. It's the delivery of which the reader failed to, again, grasp it, and that's my fault. Elon Musk said something similar after he bought Twitter. How do you make a small fortune out of social media? Start with a large one. That's much more clear and concise, Mr. Alfie. Thank you. John, see you, man. Have a good one. We're probably about to head off the stream here as well. We've got our order set. We've waited for the news to hit. We've executed exactly what we want to see, and it's all planned out. And so now we just wait to see if our orders are going to get tagged in or not. So, must have been $2.95 McDonald's. Very true. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow on the stream, Thursday at 7 a.m. New York time. Thank you for hopping in today and doing another lesson and session here with Venator Trading. Always good to sit in the deer stand hunting blind with you, hunting our trophy Buckeye Plus setups. We have one in our sights, and we'll see if it comes out into the clearing and we get to take our shot today or not. But hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Happy hunting. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the live stream. Adios, y'all.